Hello students, today we are going to start a new chapter, that is chapter 15, probability. So this probability we have already started in class 9. Actually probability means the prediction of an event or an experiment. Say for example, when you toss a coin, you either get head or tail, right? So you can just predict like whether it will be a head or it will be a tail. So there are two outcomes, head or tail, okay? Or say when you throw a dice, okay, so on the dice there are 6 numbers, as like 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. So when you throw a dice, you get one of these 6 numbers, right? Either it will be 1 or 2 3 4 5 and 6. So how to find probability of an event? So for that there's a formula to find, okay? Like probability is number of favorable outcomes by number of all possible outcomes. So let us talk about that dice. So when you throw a dice, there are 6 possible outcomes, like either like it will be 1 2 3 4 5 or 6. Now say let us talk about like what will be the probability of a dice that it will be number 1, okay? So in a dice, number 1, it occurs only once, right? There's only one, that number 1, it is only one. So that will be your favorable outcomes, okay? Because the number 1 occurs only once on the dice and the others are different numbers. So, and what will be the number of all possible outcomes? That will be the total numbers, okay, on that dice, like 1 2 3 4 5 6. So we have 6 numbers on the dice, right? So if you are going to find the probability of the number having, like on the dice coming 1, okay, that will be 1 by 6. So you have these numbers on the dice, right? Like 1 2 3 4 5 6. So when you throw a dice, out of this one of the numbers will come up, right? So now if you want to find the probability of this number 1, so what will be the probability of coming 1? So 1, it occurs only once out of these numbers, so the probability will be number of favorable outcomes, so that 1 will be your favorable outcomes, okay? And number of all possible outcomes, see, number of possible outcomes will be the total number, that is 1 2 3 4 5 6. So your probability will be 1 by 6, okay? Number of favorable outcomes by total number of outcomes, or number of all possible outcomes. Then there are a few points that you should remember, like probability of an impossible event is 0, okay? That means which is not possible. Say for example, let us consider the same example, like the dice, when you throw, either one of these numbers will come up on the dice, right? So now suppose I ask you to find the probability of number 8, okay? So but on the dice we have only these 6 numbers, right? We don't have number 8, so that probability will not be possible, so that will be impossible event, okay? That is 0. The next one is probability of a sure event, okay? That means it will occur, surely occur. Say for example, yeah, you can take the same example, like, so the probability of getting number 2. So this number 2 is already there on the dice, so you'll surely get this number 2, right? So that probability of a sure event is 1, okay? And then probability of a possible event can be between 0 and 1. So if the probability is possible, then the probability will be between 0 and 1. It cannot be less than 0, or it cannot be more than 1, okay? At the most it will be 1 if it is sure event, and if it is impossible it will be 0, but it will not be less than 0 or more than 1. It will always lie between 0 and 1, okay? So that is all about probability. In the next video we'll start exercise 15.1.